where to start. I am so excited. First and foremost, this thing is dusty now. Very beginning of kind of stepping into this space with Floral Lane. Maybe touch up a few things in here this year. I am so grateful for Floral Lane Studio. I feel like the most spoiled wife in the world that I get to have this space. Every day it's like I can't believe I walk into this space that God has given me, that my husband has blessed me with. Just need to fully do a little spin around, clean, maybe paint some walls, I don't know. So stay tuned for a new studio change. I don't know, I feel so much change coming this year. Also, guys, this yellow table. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so this yellow table, it's a great yellow, but it is a yellow that I have completely gotten so tired of that I'm like, I just need a little something fresh. I think this is gonna have to be rechanged and a little something different. I don't know, guys. I chose yellow and I was so excited, but at the same time, I feel like I'm done with the yellow. I'll change for this year. That is something very exciting. So stay tuned for a new studio touch of something. Those who are watching and are hat people and see my dent in the light, it's kind of hard to miss. You know, I was thinking, should I say something? I was like, no, I'm gonna say something because you know who you are. If you're like, girl, that dent is a dent. It's just been hanging up on my wall up here. As you can see, the little things. I just thought it was time to bring it down, and this was my mama's hat, so shout out to my mama for having cute hats that I can have later on. It's the best about being a daughter of a mom who has such amazing fashion. So the shape is coming back slowly, so maybe these will go away. Maybe I need to do something. So just so you know, I'm so excited to tell you guys this story at my Christmas market last year in November. And I had a woman come up to me who I've had the opportunity to meet the year before. So it's the second year that I've seen her come to the Christmas market. Well, her and I just connected with her. We're about the same age and she's so beautiful, has a beautiful heart. And came with her fiance and she's getting married, which is so exciting. We were both ordering a coffee for my husband and she was looking around and she came up to me. She was like, hey, could you possibly do a custom order for me? And I was like, don't tell me twice. You know I love those custom orders. She was like, I would love to have a white background, an olive branch, and it just says wedding planner. And you know me, I was just like, you want me to do your wedding planner for you? Are you joking me? I was like, yes, of course, I would love to. And I was able to finally get started on it like about a week and a half after the Christmas market, just finding my feet again, taking a little break, also having orders that God fully sent through the fruitfulness from the market, which couldn't have done it without any of you guys and all your love and support. I've never had so many orders, so it was just truly so special and mind-blowing with God in the space that I know God has spoken to me years ago that I finally was able to see come to life through all of you guys. So thank you so much for all your love and support, by the way. I can't thank you enough. So I finally was able to get started on the journal, and as I was painting the white background, and then I started doing the little dainty, she was very specific. She was like, I want a dainty, minimalistic kind of style of just this olive branch in the middle. And I already saw it in my head and I was like, God, would you use my hands? And I just started to paint. And guys, when I tell you, I felt God like as if he put his hand on my shoulder to say, go back to the very beginning, to where I spoke to you most. And I was emotionally wrecked. I was like just so touched by the Lord's presence in that moment of truly go back to the beginning where I spoke to you, Danica, where I spoke to you, where I called you to do Floral Lane. Not saying that God hasn't been speaking to me throughout floor laying orders now and today and through the designs. God has been so in it, but I feel God just truly stopped everything in me, brought back so many memories with God of saying, hey, I want to use you even more this year, all for the purpose of my love, but you need to go back to the beginning with me, with the way that I painted, with the way that I started, with the way that I saw things with God, the way that I felt God speak to me in little words for people, like I still do now, but in a way that it was just so pure, so raw, where it was the most minimalistic painting that I could have ever done, like a coffee cup with a little cup of joe writing on the bottom. Littlest things that I truly saw God use in the craziest ways, only between me and God, that I feel like he just stopped and put my heart in stillness to pull me back and say, hey, let's go back to the beginning from where I brought you now and the growth that you've had now through painting landscapes, through painting mountains, through growing in the Swiss cultural landscapes. Like that is next level from California and Australia. And I just truly felt God just want to bring me back to where I started in that minimalistic style. We'll put in a photo of the journal that I painted for her. And truly, guys, the minimalistic style was where I started. So in Australia, that was just where I always painted skateboards. I painted coffee cups with flowers inside, with a surfboard inside, with trees inside, like where it kind of was a little like, whoa, Danica, that's a little too much. But I was on a high of things in a coffee cup because that was culturally so common of just coffee culture there in Australia. I would have up to like 6 coffees a day, 6 coffee shop hangs throughout the whole day with meeting up with college friends. Like it was so culturally everyday a thing. Also, I don't know if some of you guys may know, but I married a barista. So my husband, he was making coffee in Australia. My brother is also a barista in Idaho. So it's just something that truly, it sounds so silly, but it's a huge part of my life. Especially those who know me really well. Coffee is a really big thing. Also my family, it goes on and on. It's like in our veins is coffee. It's truly coffee. So I just felt like God wanted to bring back the surfboards, the skateboards, the flowers, the Bible verses. And truly, guys, I've been in like up and down moments where I'm like, God, I have no idea what to write for this person. I need to spend time with you. God, I just pray that you would breathe on me to know exactly what this person needs. Sometimes I would get orders where they're like, hey, do a custom order. I want this, that. I trust you with everything and just whatever you feel to write. And I'm like, whoa, God. I truly take to heart where I'm like, God, what do you want to speak to this person? I understand the value of having that journal that you know was for that season, that truly spoke to you, that you can grab and look back and be like, God, that was that exact word for that journal for that season that I had. And it's always going to be on the shelf whenever you need that encouragement, you know? But it was truly just like, whoa, God, I just can feel so empty sometimes to outpour, and I can feel the pressure in the best way, but in the worst way at the same time. And I'm like, God, this is what you've called me to do. And so, God, I look to you, spend time with the Lord, and it would overflow where I'd be like, God, I believe and I have to trust that this is what you want to say to this person. And this in Australia, when I first started, truly was like an overflow of like, this is what that person needs. God, I really believe that you're putting this word for this person. I truly believe that God is calling me to bring back what he's spoken, and I feel to share with Switzerland, to share with people that are new in my life that haven't seen me in that season before, and just to take that from where I started to where I am now, combine that with what I've learned with God when I first started to now, and see what God does. And I'm so excited. I can feel the presence of the Lord just so close in my creativity and the ideas that I've had and the things that I've been brainstorming with the Lord. And I just believe this is what He's calling me to do out of obedience and trust. So that is what I'm gonna do in 2026. A little side note, I was messaging her as I was painting, because you're probably like, Danica, what happened next? As I was painting, and I just felt that moment with the Lord. I told her, and I messaged her, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much God has used your custom order to completely touch my heart in the things that God has called me to do, to go all the way back to the beginning and how I used to paint, detailed little arty, little tiny details. Guys, sometimes I would paint stuff that was like this big and just go so detailed, and it was so tiny. And I was like, I know this might sound crazy. I just truly cannot thank you enough for telling me that order and telling me what you needed, and truly how not only like God used that, but God used you to awaken my heart with the Lord of what He's called me to do. And it was so beautiful, guys. She has such a beautiful heart, also as a Christian, so that also made it a lot easier. You know, if you have a moment with God, of course you still want to be real and be like, hey, I know you're not a Christian, but just to let you know, God used this moment through you. Whether you don't understand, I just have to tell you. Thank you, Jesus. She was a Christian, and it was already like, whoa, like a cool like conversation that we just kind of got it, you know? So also thanked God for that, because it's always a bit tricky sometimes, but that's what I know I'm called to do. So I don't know, it was just totally truly appointed by the Lord in my heart personally, between Him and my creativity that He's given me, and just to put a pause on the plans that I thought I had, that God is like, scratch, wipe it clean, let's do 2026 from the very beginning. So in this to say, I wanted to share with you what I'm doing with Flora Lane this year now. I wanted to start with completely deleting all of my journals that I have painted. I know that sounds crazy. I know you're like, Danica, but why don't you just leave them to just like add on? I'm gonna leave maybe a few of them up, just because I think it doesn't fully mean to fully scratch everything in a way of like, you're never gonna see the landscapes anymore. I just want you to know I will still do landscapes. I will be more focused on the specific designs that God has been calling me to go back to. I'll be more focused on that. But some designs are gonna be completely gone. If you still would like a custom order with mountains or something, you can definitely still order that. Just feel free to message me or email me or something. That was really funny. Just deep. That does mean complete refresh on journals. I want to be more consistent this year with posting new journal designs. I feel like I was navigating ministry. My husband is a youth pastor, so I am full on, not in a way of like expectations of being the pastor's wife, but in a way that I truly know God has called us together to do that. And also for me personally, with the young teens that I love so much, and the young adults, we just feel such a calling to invest our lives into them and our time. So there was like a huge transition that I was trying to navigate. How can I do this with the time that I've been given, along with my capacity that kind of felt all over the place, but at the same time so small. So I just want you guys to know this year is more focused on journal designs. My goal would be to have every 3 months new designs up, new designs up, new designs up. More journal focus, less than merch and everything, but still merch is going to be improving more and more. That is the goal, every year to have something new for the merch. But just want to let you guys know that is truly my goal. So keep an eye out on social media if you're looking for new journals every other 3 months. Just to let you know that there will be some new fun ones, just to align that with the Lord and what God has truly called me to design. Tune to new journals coming in 2026. More minimal, more California, Australia inspired. I know some of you guys are like, that's not really my style, that's not my vibe. Still love you guys. I totally understand. I know if you're more about like the mountains and the ocean, that will still be there, but it'll be more focused on truly just being obedient in what God has called me to do, to strip away and go back to how I did it. So I'm really excited. So another little side note I wanted to share with you guys, a bit personal. Moving to Switzerland, I truly have tried to adjust myself in the culture. That means style, that means my posture, that means outward everything, not skating as much, not being in the ocean because there's no ocean here. We do have a lake, which is just as beautiful, and everything here is like next level beautiful. So it's nothing I'm complaining about. It's just more completely reversing everything to try to connect with people. And I felt like I kind of buried that in me. Ever since I've moved here, I just kind of put that aside to see and adapt to what people are more interested in here, what people do more here, what people like more, in the style and everything. And that is also something I feel like God is calling me to go back to personally with the Lord, personally me as a woman, as the woman I'm called to be, as the woman I want to be in the Lord. That is something I feel God really calling me in 2026 to go back to in the ways that I truly have. Sounds really intense to say I buried, but I truly believe I just put away and locked the door and never picked up again. So that is also my goal, is to adjust who God has called me to be from growing up in California, from doing my adult years, that is the most important independence with just me and the Lord, away from home and family, for 5 years in Australia, then meeting the love of my life, then coming from Australia to Idaho, then to Idaho to Switzerland. It's just been so many different cultures that I'm like, I never want to forget that season with the Lord, with just him and I in Australia, not only for me personally, but with Floral Lane. And so on top of that, I'm trying to like bring every little piece of who God has created in me in all these places to be completely myself and nobody else. So that is something that God also is stripping away, that I just felt personally to share, because if it inspires somebody to maybe take a step back and be like, okay, God, wait, what things have I buried in the past that were so good, that were completely who you've called me to be, so freeing, that I have said no to because of maybe it's not the thing that people do today. I don't know if that's for somebody, but it definitely would be for me. Also, I understand the value of burying those things that are not good. So that is great. If you have buried those things to look to the Lord, that is a no-brainer. But those good things, maybe that you've chosen, childlike faith, joy, could truly be style. As silly as it sounds, it's so valuable to me because I just love to dress up. I love to be completely, utterly myself. So whoever needs to hear that, be encouraged, and you're not alone, because I'm with you in that. The next product that is going to look a little different in 2026 of Floral Lane, this is a little seed that my husband sowed within middle of last year. He told me, he's like, babe, you should do more of those. Like, why don't you sell those? It's so simple, but it's so beautiful. And I thought, hey, everybody does this. Hey, I'm not sure, maybe it's something just special for our home that, you know, people only see, hey, that's something that you've done, that, whoa, that's so cool. I've never seen you do something like that before. It's so simple, but truly has been such a foundation in our home. So it's a framework of just a Bible verse, specifically just written in black writing, white background, so simple. It says, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Looking at that every day when we're putting on our shoes, when we're walking out in the hallway, waking up, making our coffee, going back, you pass it all the time. When people come over, they see that when they take off their shoes or I hang up their coat. It's something that it's not only for us, but it's also for people to see that, hey, this is how we want to live our life on the word of the Lord. And I believe the Lord is really wanting to and calling in 2026 to bring scripture back in people's homes. As minimalistic as it is, as simple as it is, So as a reminder, daily you can see as a family, as a single woman, as a single man, a married couple, I feel the Lord so close in this. I can see the fruitfulness of it, not for me, but for the Lord. And I just feel I'm called to just strip that away. And so it's going to be more journals, and it's going to be more framed work for people's houses. It's not going to be small ones. It can be small ones. You can maybe do a custom order with me and just let me know what size you would like. But they're mostly going to be like big frames. I don't know the exact size of this frame. I can let you guys know. But it's going to be like a thing that you're going to just visually see every day in your household. So that is kind of why I've chosen to do them so big, and just think it's so needed, and truly the impact it's had on our house, in our marriage, and in every day we walk out of the house and when we walk in. I just hope and pray that it could also do the same for you in your household. This is the one that we look at every day, and I will probably be doing some greenery around, or some flowers, even a cup of coffee or something. Just completely straightforward word of the Lord for your house. I am so excited, guys, to be sharing this with you. I'm so excited to be vulnerable with you guys in this, and not only that, but for you to know the heart behind, and not only my heart personally, but truly what God has put on my heart. So ready to be just sharing this with you guys in such vulnerability. It's been kind of in the background for the last month, and it's been beautiful to take that time away with the Lord to really seek Him and be like, hey, God, is this really what you want? Because deleting journals is a lot to think about, and completely surrendering it to God. But I have so much peace, and it was so important to me to share the heart and vulnerability behind, so that you guys kind of know, hey, every purchase is with this reasoning behind. It's truly all for the purpose of His love. I don't mean to sell this to you guys. I mean, it is a blessing that I get to share this with you, but truly just to do what God has called me to do, and to just offer, hey, this is a gift God has given me, and if this helps you remember God's truth in your home, I would be honored to do it for you. Or if this journal, minimalistic, flower in the middle, Bible verse along the side, if that's what you need this season for your walk with the Lord in 2026, that is beyond the greatest reward that I could ever get. It's truly the reason why I love to paint and why God has called me to. So that is the heart behind all of this, and I'm so excited to share with you guys. Can't thank you enough for your time and watching and supporting me and subscribing and just being a part of the Floral Lane journey in Switzerland, and just watching how God does this year is something I can't wait to share with you guys even more. And this year I'm going to be more diligent in also posting. My goal is to post every Friday of every week, so stay tuned for hopefully the consistency of the Fridays. And I just am so grateful, and I hope you have an amazing start to your 2026, and I wish you an amazing day. And don't forget, a good cup of coffee.